You feel this way. That low hum of background static in your life. The constant feeling of being just slightly out of step with your own joy. The way you can be so incredibly patient and understanding with everyone, until you're alone and the silence feels so heavy, so full of something you can't quite name. And tonight, we're going to expose it. We're going to pull back the curtain on the silent, invisible engine, driving so much of your quiet anxiety, your fleeting resentment, that chronic fatigue that coffee can't touch. And we're going to understand the psychology of repressed anger, psychology fix, not as a personal failure, but as a brilliant, misguided survival strategy your mind built long ago to protect you. Let's go deeper. Imagine for a moment a child. Let's call her Sarah, a little girl with a heart too big for her small world, who learns one day after a tearful outburst over a broken toy that her feelings are too much, that her anger makes her unlovable, that the safe thing to do, the only thing to do, is to swallow that hot, sharp feeling whole, to push it down deep into the dark where no one can see it. And she smiles. She becomes the good girl, the easy child, and she carries that strategy into adulthood, a hidden vault of swallowed emotions she herself has forgotten how to open. But here's the truth. That anger, that raw, vital energy of protest and boundary setting never actually leaves. It doesn't vanish. It metastasizes. It turns inward and begins to whisper lies to you in the voice of your own thoughts. It fogs your mind with a low-grade depression. It tightens your muscles into a suit of armor you never take off. It leaks out as passive-aggressive comments you instantly regret, as a deep-seated impatience with the people you love most, as a cynical belief that the world is just inherently disappointing. What no one tells you is that repressed anger is the most common cause of the "why do I feel so empty" question. It's the ghost in the machine of your psyche. And you might be reading this now, recognizing that background hum in your own life, thinking of the times you've bitten your tongue until it bled, the times you've chosen silence over conflict, peacekeeping over peacemaking. And you felt this before, haven't you? That subtle tension in your jaw right now, the slight clenching in your stomach as we speak. Pause, just for a breath, and notice what that just revealed. The body always keeps the score. It holds the memories the mind has been forced to forget. This isn't about blaming your past self. That self was a genius, a survivor, who found a way to navigate a world that felt too loud, too sharp, too unsafe for your full emotional expression. But you are not in that same world anymore. And the strategy that once saved you is now slowly starving you of your vitality, your voice, your authentic power. Let's go deeper still into the very architecture of why the mind creates this pattern in the first place. It's a simple, brutal equation forged in the fires of early experience. Anger equals danger. Anger equals abandonment. Anger equals becoming the very thing you feared in others. So the mind, in its infinite, misguided wisdom, constructs a hidden chamber, a oubliette, a place of forgetting, and it throws every spark of righteous fury, every flash of healthy indignation, every single no that dared to form on your lips, down into that darkness, and it locks the door, and it tells you it's for your own good. But the body knows, the nervous system knows. It remains in a state of low-grade alarm, constantly scanning for threats, because the original threat, your own unexpressed self, is still right here, trapped inside you, a prisoner in its own home. And this is the source of that hypervigilance, that startled response you have when a door slams a little too loudly, that feeling of being constantly on edge in a room that is, by all accounts, perfectly safe. Pause. Notice what that just revealed. Ask yourself this now. When was the very first time you learned that your anger was unacceptable? Was it a look from a parent, a punishment from a teacher, the cold shoulder from a friend? That moment is a fossil, preserved in the amber of your nervous system, and it's still running the show. This is the invisible wound, the one that doesn't bleed, the one you've learned to call maturity or being the bigger person. But it's a wound nonetheless, a fracture in your wholeness, and it has hidden emotional triggers that pull its strings without you even realizing. like when you feel controlled, even in the smallest of ways. A partner telling you how to load the dishwasher, a boss micromanaging your email, and instead of a flicker of healthy annoyance, you're flooded with a wave of cold, numb resignation. Or when you feel taken for granted, when your efforts go unnoticed, and instead of stating your need for recognition, you find yourself becoming bitterly sarcastic or withdrawing your affection entirely, punishing them with a silence that is louder than any shout. Or, the most potent trigger of all, perceived injustice. Watching someone else be wronged or being wronged yourself, and feeling that hot, righteous surge in your chest, only to have a voice immediately whisper, "It's not worth it. Don't make a scene. You're overreacting," and the surge dies, replaced by a heavy, hopeless sadness about the state of the world. You feel it making sense already, don't you? These are the fault lines, the places where the ground of your composure is thinnest, and beneath it, the molten core of all you've ever wanted to say but couldn't. Let me tell you a story about a man named Leo. Leo was a project manager, known for his unflappable calm, the guy who could handle any crisis with a steady hand and a soft voice. But at home, he was a ghost. Moving through his apartment in a state of quiet detachment, his relationship with his partner, a series of polite exchanges and unspoken resentments. And his health was beginning to fray, migraines, a back that was always in a knot, a stomach that was constantly upset. Until one day, his partner said, in a moment of sheer frustration, "I just wish you'd yell at me sometimes, just so I know you're actually in the room." And those words hit Leo like a physical blow, because he realized in that moment that his calm wasn't serenity. It was a fortress, and he was dying of loneliness inside its walls. Pause. Notice the tension in your own shoulders. What wall have you built that you are now trapped behind? This is the first step. The simple, terrifying act of recognition, of seeing the pattern for what it is, and in that seeing, the first crack of light appears. Now we arm you. Your first weapon is conscious recognition. This is not about explosively expressing what's buried. Not yet. That would be like trying to defuse a bomb with a sledgehammer. This is about learning the bomb's blueprint. Step 1. Recognize the trigger in real time. It's a flutter in the diaphragm, a heat in the cheeks, a sudden desire to leave your own body. When your colleague takes credit for your work, don't just smile and die inside. Notice the physiological signature of the anger. Name it to yourself silently. This is anger. I am feeling anger. Step 2. Reframe the story. The old story is, anger is dangerous. I am bad for feeling this. The new story, the true story is, this anger is a signal. It is information. It is telling me a boundary has been crossed or a value has been violated. It is my ally. Step 3. Or letting it leak out as sarcasm, you take a micro action. You say, I need a moment to process that, and you walk away. You go to the bathroom and you squeeze your fists as hard as you can for 10 seconds. You allow the energy of physical, contained release. You are not expressing the anger at anyone yet. You are simply acknowledging its existence to yourself. You are reclaiming it from the shadow realm and bringing it into the light of your awareness. You're starting to see it now, how this one shift, this simple act of noticing and naming, begins to drain the charge, begins to return a sense of agency to you. But here's the truth. The body has been holding this for so long. It has become a home for this tension. And we must go into the very tissue and bone to truly liberate the energy. Which brings us to your second weapon, somatic release. The mind lies. The body never does. All that rage is stored as physical tension. A history, book written in the clench of your jaw, the ache in your shoulders, the shallow breath in your chest. This is where we speak the language of the nervous system. Step 1. Recognize the physical landscape of your repression. Lie down in a dark room and scan your body without judgment. Where do you feel tight, hard, numb? This is your map. Step 2. Reframe the sensation. That knot in your stomach isn't just anxiety. It's 1,000 unsaid words. That tightness in your throat isn't a sore throat coming on. It's a scream waiting to happen. See these sensations not as flaws, but as messages waiting to be delivered. Step 3. Replace the holding pattern with a release pattern. This is not about punching walls or screaming into a pillow. That often just recirculates the energy. We need to complete the biological cycle of the fight response that was truncated all those years ago. Try this. Press your back firmly against a wall. Period. As if you're trying to push it over. Engage all your muscles, your legs, your core, your arms. Push for 15 seconds. Grunt. Make a sound. Let the effort be visible on your face. Then release completely. Collapse onto the floor. And notice the flood of warmth, the sigh of relief, the deep, spontaneous breath that follows. You have just shown your body it is allowed to exert force. It is allowed to push, and the world did not end. Let me tell you about Chloe, a writer who suffered from crippling writer's block that always seemed to strike right when she was on the verge of a breakthrough. In therapy, she discovered that her block was a somatic event, a tightening in her chest, a freezing in her fingers. And when she was guided to feel into that tightness, she was suddenly, violently thrown into a memory of being 7 years old, her father ripping up a story she had written, telling her it was silly and a waste of time. And in that moment, her creative expression became fused with a rage so terrifying she had to paralyze herself to contain it. Her block wasn't a lack of ideas, it was a dam holding back a river of fury. Her work wasn't to find better ideas, but to somatically release that old stored protest, to push against the wall and whisper, then shout, then scream. It was not silly. It was beautiful. And when she did, the block didn't just lessen, it vanished. Because she had reclaimed the energy that was fueling it. Pause, notice what that just revealed. What creative expression, what vital part of your life is being held hostage by a feeling you buried long ago? Ask yourself this now. But understanding and release are not enough if the old mental pathways remain. The superhighways of self-criticism and justification for your own silence, which is why your third weapon is cognitive restructuring. This is the work of rewiring the beliefs that made repression seem like the only option. Step 1. Recognize the core belief. It usually sounds something like, if I get angry, I will be alone, or my anger will destroy people, or nice people don't get angry. Catch that sentence the next time it runs through your mind. Step 2. Reframe the story. Challenge that belief with evidence. Is it true that you will be alone? Have you ever been loved by someone who also saw you annoyed? Is your anger really that destructive, or is the silent, seething resentment you cultivate far more corrosive to your relationships? The reframe is, my anger is a part of my humanity. Expressing it cleanly can lead to greater intimacy and respect. Step 3. Replace the pattern of catastrophic thinking. When the old fear arises, have a new mantra, a true one. I can be angry and I can be loved. I can set a boundary and the relationship can survive. My voice is valid, even when it trembles. This is how you end the psychology of repressed anger pattern tonight. Not with a single explosion, but with the diligent, daily rewiring of the lies you were taught about your own emotional world. You feel it making sense already. This trifecta of awareness, body, and mind, working in concert to thaw the frozen self. But there is a fourth weapon, the one that brings it all together and allows for true integration: boundary alchemy. This is the art of transforming the raw, undifferentiated energy of anger into the clean, clear gold of a boundary. Anger is simply the signal that a boundary has been crossed, past, present, or future. Step 1. Recognize what the anger is protecting. When you feel that flare-up after a friend cancels on you, last minute for the third time, don't just swallow the disappointment. Ask, what value of mine is being disrespected? Is it my time, my trust, my sense of importance? The anger is the guard dog barking. You have to find out. What it's guarding. Step 2. Reframe the confrontation. This isn't about attacking the other person. It's about honoring yourself. You are not saying, you are bad for canceling. You are preparing to say, I feel devalued when my time is not treated as important. and I need a commitment from you that you'll try to keep our plans.
Step 3. Replace the old pattern of silence or explosion with a clear, clean statement. This is the formula. When, specific, observable behavior. I feel your emotion because it impacts your need, value. I need a clear, reasonable request. This is the alchemy. The messy, chaotic feeling of rage becomes a structured, respectful, and powerful act of self-care. It's no longer an emotion that controls you. It's a tool you wield with precision. Let me tell you about Sam, a man who always described himself as easygoing, but who secretly kept a mental ledger of all the times his brother had borrowed money and never paid it back, of all the favors he'd done that were never reciprocated. And this ledger was poisoning every family gathering, making him sullen and withdrawn. He thought his problem was his brother's selfishness, but his real problem was his own repressed anger, the fury at his own inability to say no, or when can I expect you to pay me back? One day, after doing this work, he sat his brother down, his heart pounding like a drum, and he said, "When we make agreements about money, and they aren't followed, I feel resentful and taken advantage of, because financial trust is really important to me. I need us to either stick to our agreements, or I need to stop lending money altogether." He didn't yell, he didn't accuse, he simply stated his boundary. And his brother, after a moment of stunned silence, apologized, and their relationship, for the first time in decades, began to heal, because the unspoken poison was finally out in the open. Pause. Notice the relief just in hearing that story. What ledger are you secretly keeping in your own life? What one boundary, if stated, would change everything? You're starting to see it now, how this entire structure wasn't a prison sentence, but a training ground. How all that swallowed pain has given you a profound sensitivity to the pain of others, a deep capacity for patience, and now, with these weapons, you can integrate those strengths with the power you once had to disown, becoming not a person without anger, but a person with a full, complete emotional range. Someone who can be both soft and strong, patient and firm, compassionate and boundaried. This is the integration, the freedom on the other side. It's the understanding that your anger was never the enemy. The enemy was the silence that surrounded it, the shame that coated it, the fear that imprisoned it. Let's go deeper one last time into what this new world looks like. A world where you are no longer a passive recipient of life's injustices, but an active, empowered participant in co-creating your reality. Where a trigger is no longer a threat, but an invitation to practice a new skill. Where the energy you once used to suppress your true self is now available for your creativity, your passion, your joy. And the haunting question of "why do I feel this way?" is replaced with the confident statement, "I know what I feel, and I know what to do with it." This is the final piece of the psychology of repressed anger, psychology fix. Not just a theory, but a lived, embodied reality. A homecoming to the self you had to leave behind in. Enemy was the silence that surrounded it, the shame that coated it, the fear that imprisoned it. Let's go deeper, one last time, into what this new world looks like. A world where you are no longer a passive recipient of life's injustices, but an active, empowered participant in co-creating your reality. Where a trigger is no longer a threat, but an invitation to practice a new skill. Where the energy you once used to suppress your true self is now available for your creativity, your passion, your joy. And the haunting question of "why do I feel this way?" is replaced with the confident statement, "I know what I feel, and I know what to do with it." This is the final piece of the psychology of repressed anger psychology fix. Not just a theory, but a lived, embodied reality. A homecoming to the self you had to leave behind in.